Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Red. I have another shave of the day, and today we're using Stirling's Naked and Smooth. It's a scentless base. Really nice base, too. That's why I like using it. Alright, and what we're going to do is we added some, English leather to it today. So we have a little bit of English leather scent. Yep, smells like English leather. Alright, what's the old saying? My man wears English leather or nothing at all. Something like that. Yeah. And we have the second use, the Astra blade with the Sig Solo Rockwell 6S razor. Yep. Thanks, Sig. Alright, so how's your day going? Mine's like, yeah. It's like one of those days where you wake up going, I can't breathe. It's like, yeah. It's back. I don't know if it's maybe more pollen in the air now that it's warmer. Can be part of the problem. I don't know. Like, take the old nasal injections, go, about 30 minutes later, hit it again, another 30 minutes. Just trying to clean it out. I can smell the English leather. Probably could add a little more water to this. Yeah, whatever. Oh, what's everybody been up to? Hopefully the warmer weather is making you happy before it turns into a blistering hot, melt your face weather again. That short period of time where basically from May through June here in Iowa where it's comfortable to be outside. Sometimes April. Other months it's not, but there's been times when snow on the ground in Iowa until mid-April, but not this year. But there have been other years, and April is like, yeah, it's almost into April, and beginning of May. Well, time for the air conditioning. Already we're in the 90s already. But that means that, yeah, I say we're getting less and less winter in this latest cycle that we got going on. But it's usually a 10-year cycle. It corresponds usually with the sun. La Nina, El Nino, weather patterns, sun patterns. And it just depends on where you're parking the high pressure system across the United States, who's getting the crappy weather, forcing the jet stream to move around. So it's like if the jet stream is really high up in towards Canada, it means a high pressure ridge is usually over the Midwest, and we are getting more drought weather. And the weather goes farther north, so they're getting more rain. And if it goes down farther south, so you get the high pressure ridge like goes over southeast United States over there by Florida, Georgia. You end up with a lot of wet weather here in the Midwest because the jet stream moves down and all the moisture coming over the Gulf. So it's just a pattern that we've observed for probably 100 years now. And we're just getting better at it. It's like the models and everything are, with all the modern computers and everything. We have a lot of data points, and they're getting better at determining what's going on. even though there is some minor adjustments and everything. But they always complain. It's like, oh, the weatherman doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, he does, but it is a big, giant, swirly ball that goes around and spins on its axis. Does cause the weather to spin, and you can't determine where something's going to hit until usually you can determine a week out. This is going to be the general pattern. We can see what's coming down the pipeline. A week out, 2 weeks out type of thing. You know, you get a good idea. And then as you get closer to the time frame, it's like, okay, we're narrowing it down. And then usually with 3 days beforehand, you know really what's going to happen. And then 2 days, it's like, all right, we're narrowing it down because the weather data says this. Climate model, they're saying this. And then 24 hours, you know, they can almost pinpoint to the 3 days out, they can almost pinpoint to the hour when things are going to happen to us in a certain area. 24 hours out, it's like, this will happen at this time, and but you still, it's like, I watch these storm chaser networks, because I'm a storm chaser. I haven't got to be able to do it in a couple of years, but yeah, people's like, you can actually show them the video of when things are gonna happen, and they still will that affect me? Will it hit ever here? And it's like, you just watched the video. It was like, do you not? People have zero comprehensions on people. It's like, you could show them something and they don't understand what they're even seeing. And because they're just zero observation skills. And you have these people that are like, these weathermen have no idea what they're talking about. Did you watch what they were talking about? Oh, yes. Well, then you know what they're talking about. No, they don't. It didn't hit me. They're talking about all this weather it's supposed to hit, and it never hit me. They don't know what they're talking about. Did you watch it? Where do you live? I'm right here. All this stuff is like the state of Iowa. You could have a massive blizzard hit the state. But if you live in, let's say, the southeast part of the state, you might not even get snow. You might just get the wind. Now, if you live in the path of it, you know, say, hey, we got 12 inches of snow and 70-mile-an-hour winds and left us with 20-foot drifts. Yeah, 20-foot drift. Or roughly a little over 6 meters of snow. Yeah, packed up on a big stack. After our last blizzard we had in March, shows a video of a kid playing basketball, shooting into he's the big basketball hoop, you know, that's like an 8-foot rim. The rim is at 8 foot or almost 3 meters in the air. And he's standing on a snowdrift, shooting down into the basket from the drift, from the blizzard. I can attest to this kind of stuff because it was like the last blizzard I experienced in Minnesota before I moved to Iowa. It was in '82. And it was in April of '82, late April, we had a blizzard. And after it was done, I was walking on top of the trees. Yeah. Because we had, in some places, the drifts hit, and you're talking 20-foot trees, and you'd see maybe this much of them sticking out of the drift as the snow just came in and piled in, and you're just like, whoa. walking on top of him. Like, yep. Because all the snow that was on all these fields blew across and stopped in our area. So we were the snow stop, you know. They all came and parked with us. So the miles upon square miles of acres of snow just piled up in one spot on our farm. So yeah, it's like in my family, immediate family, they're always at, it's like, oh, we heard some bad weather, what's happening? They asked me because my wife and kids are all like, oh, what's going on? What's going to happen? Let them know. Like my brother-in-law, he was an engineer. My daughter's an engineer. She just doesn't take the time to watch, and she just like, give me the synopsis of what's happening. Will it affect my job site? Type of thing. What I gotta say is, pay attention. They tell you everything. But you still get the individuals that will not pay attention to understand. But that's about like anything. Like the sheep being led. I remember back in the 70s watching the weather as a kid. And back then everything was like, there was nothing digital about it. It was all, you know, they'd have these big giant boards showing, let's say, United States, and then they'd pan over and walk over to the other board, let's say the map of Minnesota or the Midwest, and it was like having a Velcro style map, and they would have all these little symbols, you know, of all the weather symbols, be they just stick them to them. And then later it was like magnetized and like a magnet, and they would put everything up there and move it, and that where they'd move around. And gosh, I think it was when I think in the 80s, you started seeing them with these more of a digital board showing things off. And you'd actually get satellite data. They'd throw in some satellite data. Hey, this is what's coming our direction. You have a weather satellite. Things have progressed a lot since I was a kid. And we had a lot of the climate models back then, but we had National Weather Service would be looking at everything and just send out the data. Like I was when I was in college, and I was taking meteorology. And run over to the local airport and they had a meteorology department over there. And it's like, all right, I need the all the different forecasts for the next week, all the data, satellite data, and all that, and they just like, all right, here you go, print it all out for you and hand it to you, because you know that it was a service they would give to the pilots, you know. So, but you as a student can go there, and typically in the meteorology class, they, you know, this class was kind of a general class for everybody, every student, but those of us that were earth science students, there's only a couple of us, you know, the geology, earth science, and we would give every day in class a weather report, what's going to happen. So you got really good at forecasting. You're doing everything every day. It's like you'd sit with the, because the instructor, he was a meteorologist. And he was teaching us on the side how to really read all this stuff and understand all the data points and everything that were part of it. So for a whole semester, once a week, I was giving a weather report. It was, you know, meeting 4 times a week, and there's 4 of us each day. You know, it's like I was like the Monday guy, you know, and then there was somebody that was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We didn't have class on Thursdays. So on a Sunday, I would run over to the airport every Sunday and pick up all the information and set it all up, and I would just beforehand, before class would happen, you know, that morning, run over to the earth science department, and they had a laser printer where you could take your printouts and they would print them off on the acetate sheets, so you could put them up on overhead. And so the kids, you know, they're students. I always say kids, I was probably one of the oldest ones there. Most of them were 18, 19, 20s. I was 20 something, you're 22? So yeah, 23. Yeah. How the heck did I miss that spot? Yapping away and did not pay attention. And you you'd give your weather report. It'd be at the beginning of class. Today's weather. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. So if I hadn't gotten a geology degree, I would have, or a science degree, I definitely was going to get a meteorology degree. That's something I really enjoyed, one way or the other. The Earth, learning about it. All right, so let's do a little bit of English leather. And definitely, it's got that like a vetiver and citrus aspect to it. So like the vetiver is giving you kind of the leather aspect of it. So a little bit of English leather. Put some lotion on the face. Here we go. Dry it out today. All right. That's the shave of the day, everybody. Brought to you by Stirling, Naked and Smooth. Man, great base. If you just want to have your own scent to something, you got your own cologne that you love, there you go. Get the old Naked and Smooth. All right, so we had the second use of the Astra blades with the Rockwell 6S Sig Solo razor. All right. That's everything, everybody. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.